Chase Tree and Tractor Service with 25 years of experience in tree removal. Serving the mid-coast of Maine, licensed and insured Maine arborist. Whether it's a pesky blowdown or a hard-to-get tree that needs removing. When you need an experienced professional, Jake Chase is the man for the job. Call 207-242-8961 or email him at chasetreeandtractorservice.jc@gmail.com.
LCTV is your nonprofit community media station. Please donate at lctv.org to keep us strong. Thank you.
One, two, three, four! Well, I've been holding in since the clock came Monday morning. From the end of the week, I'm bound to blow. Breeze walking to the honky-tonk like a pack of wolves now. Order up around the stripes and it's away we go.
Hello everyone and welcome to your favorite time of the week. It's Wuzzup time. I'm your host Larry Sidelinger, along with the princess of the Y, Miss Sally Farrell. Sal, cold week.
Oh, it's a cold
You staying warm
week.
over there at the Y?
Yes,
You got
but
the heat turned up?
we have to have the heat turned up because the heat pumps don't work as well when it's this cold. So now we have to do some compensation with our heating over there. So some areas are really warm and some are really cold. But
So now we just celebrated New Year's, and this past Monday was the first real full day of the New Year's work week.
Yes.
And there was a big crew Monday, and nobody on. And I walked folks at like 5:30 in the morning, 5:45.
Right.
And Tuesday there was nobody.
it's funny how that happens.
How
That's
does that-
why. Sometimes it's different classes that are happening. You know, that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are historically super busy at the Y. There's just
Yeah,
great
well,
programming that
Tuesday
people
and Wednesday
like.
wasn't
but-
all that
all
busy.
right, we'll
I
work
didn't
on-
go today because I had to go to the airport.
Okay,
yeah.
we'll forgive you
I've
for
already been
that.
to the airport and back. And,
Yeah.
do
You
that
start
kind of
your
thing,
day
so.
early like I
But
do,
it's
so.
cold.
It is cold.
It's cold.
You can
How do
hear
the
it
little How do
howling.
the little kitties like it?
They're okay. Just have to bundle them up. And the second I walked a bunch of them over to Great Salt Bay to go to school and came back, and wherever any skin is showing, they let you know so you can bundle them up. But I try to tell them, let's get everything covered so you don't tell me halfway there I'm cold. Let's address this first.
You take like the kindergartens over?
Well, so we have preschool there, and I opened there this morning, and we have a couple of kids who we walk to Great Salt Bay in the morning because they come for early care. You know, we open at 7, so parents drop them off, but we bring all the preschoolers who are already there. So I think I had a crew of 6 walking over today, and little ones. And
Do they talk
takes
to
a
you
while.
when you're away over?
Absolutely. All sorts of things they were
You
playing.
solve any world problems?
Absolutely. We were crushing some ice.
Right, I mean, it's the same relevance with what you got in Washington and 6-year-olds. About the same deal going through.
Oh, I
there.
was dealing with 3 and 4-year-olds,
Well,
so even better.
Even better. They have a lot clearer thinking. That's interesting. One thing I found out about the YMCA this week, and I was so impressed, as it's probably getting out there a little bit, LCTV is teaching a bunch of 5th graders, and we've got the South Bristol Scoop, and we're going to give you folks at home maybe a little tidbits of that here in the weeks to come. But you also do a cooking class teaching some kids from 3rd and 4th graders.
Right.
That once a week, once a month. How's that
Well,
go?
okay. So we have our Farms at the Y program, which is our teaching kitchen.
That's with
So
Karen
Kleinkoff and Leslie Wicks is our
Leslie.
director
Okay,
of
yeah.
that. And then we have many other part-time staff who help. And actually, that's the program where we have a huge amount of volunteers. They just love what the concept behind us is. So when we reopened our facilities, Farms at the Y, Farms had been started by Karen Kleinkoff a long time ago when my kids were growing up with her
Yep.
kids at Great Salt Bay, came underneath the Y. We said this is, a great fit for what we're trying to do. We're trying to educate people. We want people to live healthy lives. So we use mostly local vegetables,
Sure.
produce,
Why
all
not?
different things. It can be harder and more challenging,
why
but and different classes, different schools in the area book time with us, and they come in and have curriculum. I mean, it's real curriculum. They're learning about the vegetables, they're learning how to cook them, they're learning how to use knife skills, they're learning to peel, going through all.
Teach them how to wash dishes too?
Absolutely, they do all of it. I mean, so that's the concept, but we do this from preschool age all the way through high school. We have a teen cooking club, all different things.
Oh, really?
But what you heard about specifically
Yeah.
is, I think I've mentioned it before, but it's really good to be a 3rd grader in our school district. They have really, really cool opportunities. And one of the opportunities they have is they come once a month. So they come once a month, so they're really building on these skills and they're really learning things. And the great teachers in our AOS are working with our Farms at the Y educators to get the curriculum together. So they might be, okay, we're working on measuring. So when we're working on this cooking skill, we're going to ask them to double the recipe. And so, we'll be integrating different skills that they're working on in the classroom as well. The kids come to us in our Farms at the Y kitchen. It's important not to have too many kids because of the safety piece of it.
Don't worry about that in South Bristol.
Not in South Bristol, but what we do, or we also do this for South Bristol, is say a group of kids comes, they also get to do tennis. So either the class is split, so they get to do tennis and cooking, and then they swap, or like South Bristol kids will come and they'll cook, and then they'll do their tennis, because if they're going to come and take a field trip here, it's better to spend a longer amount of time. The busing has become so expensive for these schools.
So for you folks at home that don't know, LCTV is putting together with the 5th grade in South Bristol a new show called South Bristol Scoop. And we've been down there since before Thanksgiving. Every Wednesday we get down for about 2 hours, and we work with a bunch of kids, and they set up the cameras, and they first of all, they lug all the equipment in from out of the van, and they and there's a procedure. They set up their set, and they set up all the cameras and the sound and the microphones and the whole 9 yards. And so I talked with them yesterday about, because they were in this cooking class.
I know, we want them here.
Would you go back and film that? And they thought that was just the coolest
Oh, you hadn't
idea.
told me that. That's great.
Yes, so they're excited about that. And also, our South Bristol Scoop news team is going to do a show later in the year, maybe in February or March, in front of a live audience, the Damascus Rotary Club.
Oh, great.
So that will be kind of cool.
That's awesome.
That'd be kind of cool. So I'm pretty jacked about that. That's excited. And they got their little uniforms on, their shirts on.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, it's just a hoot.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
When is the Rotary going to be at the Y having one of their meetings?
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Let me know. I'll definitely make sure I'm there.
Yes.
And you know what? If you told me and Leslie the other day about media literacy, like you really had a whole plan of why this is such a skill-based program that you're doing. Would you share that? Because I thought that. You just said it so eloquently.
I don't say much eloquently.
That's why we need to talk about this.
If I got a 10 on that one, that's good.
Let's keep going.
Well, yeah. I mean, I never thought too much about media literacy until I got into this TV business, and I got talking with my peers from other TV stations that have been doing this 40 years. I mean, I'm a newbie. I'm like the square peg round hole here.
Then what am I?
Well, but you had the education, and part of it and whatnot, and teaching kids and all that. And yes, I did a lot of coaching back in the day, but it's still different. It's still different. And I kind of got into this thing learning about media literacy and how important it is for transferring of information into the community, and how to talk in front of TV, and how to write your copy, and how to spell, and and there's all kinds of things. And we're taking that down there at South Bristol. We're going to be taking it one step further. So by the end of school year, the kids will have a budget of how much it would cost to do a show like this, and how much the equipment costs, and how much advertising would cost. And that's kind of the business side of it. But right now, they are really, we've been down there, I think, 4 times or 5 times, and boy, you don't have to tell them. They know how to set the tripods up, they know how to put the cameras on, they know how to turn them on, they know how to hook all the cables up, and how to hook the monitor up. And our young intern here, CJ, who has been he's just out of high school, and he's really great in Haven as far as teaching the kids, the little secrets of any job.
Right.
And then presentation, how when you're in front of the camera, you can't be laying over here like, slumped like that. The camera might be on you and you never know.
Right.
And yesterday one of the kids did an interview of Mr. Begonia, the teacher.
Yep.
And she just did that kind of a spur of the moment, and we let the camera run, and she didn't know it. And so we got some really good video, and we'll share some of that in the weeks to come on here on Wuzzup.
That's great. I know you told me that you were filming some of the interviews when the kids hadn't practiced. and then you showed them and they were like, wow, that's not good. And that was a lesson in itself that you have to practice. And it's not something some people can get right up and do it, but not all people have those skills. So that's another great piece of it.
Absolutely,
it was
yeah. We film. It's about between a 10 and 15-minute interview. I mean, news show, and they go through it, and then they watch it, and then of course, they're all giggling and why did I do that and all that, and then we do it a second time, and it's almost like 100% improvement the second time over the first time. It is so much fun to watch. It is so much fun to watch. I coached a lot of basketball teams. I wish we'd done video back in the 80s.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But see what they're. But yeah, it's been really fun, and the teachers are learning. And one of the things that Mr. Begonia said, he said, we need to have our copy written on Friday, so on Monday and Tuesday we can practice it, and Wednesday it's game day.
Yeah, the planning and organization behind all of this production is just such a huge skill.
Yeah, the price. It was really cool. The price of lobsters, soft shell lobsters was this, and hard shell lobsters, and the price of herring was $2 and something, and price of monkfish was something else, and they were just. And I said, those are things in South Bristol
that are so important.
That are so important, so important. So. Yeah, and I'm really excited about when the weather gets a little better, maybe in early spring, the kids can get out and maybe do some interviews. They'll go to Cambridge's Boatyard and talk to David Ogier down at the wharf, or maybe the co-op, maybe Mike Newball over there to his marina or something. Just some different things in the town, that would teach them even more life skills. So
great.
Fun stuff.
Fun
stuff.
That is
now
fun
if we
stuff.
can, and the hope. The long-term hope is that maybe another school will come on, and that maybe there'll come a day that LCTV will have one person dedicated to every day of the week. He's going to a different school and teaching some aspects of audio or video.
Literacy.
Literacy.
I love when you add that word into it. It just
media
makes
literacy.
It.
Exactly.
But you think these kids are on their phones so much, social media. So then to have the literacy and the thought behind it too is a whole nother component that we haven't even talked about with it. So
there's a lot to it, and it just keeps. It's like a flower. It just keeps blooming on us, And we're writing some grants and seeing if we can get some funding to help pay for that, to defray the cost to it. So, and that's another whole thing that I know nothing about. So Larry's still going to school here.
But that's okay. And I would love to help you bring in experts for those different pieces.
Well, I'm all ears. I can give you a desk in the corner, Sal, in a heartbeat.
I'm good, but thanks. No.
You got enough desk.
I have enough going on.
So it's things that are happening in 2025 where LCTV is just trying to expand our reach into the community outside of sports. I mean, we've got a pretty good handle on the sports thing. We know what we're doing. It's a ton of fun. We have lots of sponsors that help defray that cost of doing all that.
They understand the importance.
But we need something in the community besides town meetings and graduations. We need something that the school kids are involved in. In teaching kids about what our trade is.
That's great.
Yeah. That's the way it is.
I love it.
I think we're supposed to read the news here.
I know, but can I start with a story that will segue in?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna hit you with something
we don't
different.
need to pick this up.
We do, because it relates to the paper.
Yes, okay.
So I got a text last week. We had extended family staying with us from Pennsylvania over Christmas. The Farrell Pool Christmas is days. Start my daughter's birthday's Christmas Eve. We skate. It's just 3 days of fun, and then you're just absolutely exhausted. We had people come in from the Philadelphia area who joined it. Christmas Day, my family, we all walked down the hill back to our house. Little did I know, my brother turned on LCTV and started pulling up our shows.
He wanted to see his sister on TV.
I guess so. So anyways, these people from Philadelphia start watching it, and they send a text saying that they are now watching our show.
So hello, Philadelphia. Good luck, Eagles. Go Eagles.
So not only was that funny, but
because our Patriots stink.
The funniest part of that, though, is we all got connected over my niece's wedding this past summer. And Bree was at the wedding, so they all know Bree.
Oh,
so
goodness
now
sakes.
they know stuff about our paper that we can talk about.
Yes.
So how fun is that?
That is a lot of fun.
And see, I'm trying to help you with, expand
our reach, and that's good. And if you're a sports fan, coming up in early February, we're doing a show about a fellow who wrote a book called The Last Man Out of Town Shut the Lights Off, and it's the 50-year anniversary of the state championship game between Dover Foxcroft and their great center Kevin Nelson and Madomic Valley and that great team they had in 1975 2 unbeaten Titans going into the ball game. It was a 56-53 win for Foxcroft Academy. Madomic was convinced that there was nobody in the state that could beat him.
Yeah.
And probably if they played that game 5 times, Madomic would have won 4. But that one night, Kevin Nelson was amazing. We're going to have Kevin in the studio along with Al Barron, the star of that Madomic team, and Dave Albee, who wrote the book.
Neat.
They're going to be in the studio here in February 10th, I think it is. It's a Monday morning. And I'm just over the top. Rob Caldwell, actually, I talked with Rob about it, and he's going to have Dave Albee on the 207
Oh, fun.
talking about it as well.
Wow,
So,
you know people.
well, I'm in the media business, media literacy, getting around. So, yeah, I'm really pumped about that.
That's great.
And the book signing, I may even go to Dover Foxcroft to see the book signing. So that's kind of cool. So Bree, being a sports fan, she has got a huge future in front of her.
And you read what her goals are, and I have no doubt. I've known her, we've family friends for years.
Division I coach somewhere.
Yeah, and just watching, so the wedding we were at had a lot of competition. There were street hockey tournaments, pickleball tournaments, dodgeball, and all of the wager kids were there, and look out.
Yeah, competitive.
Yeah, when Ethan was throwing the dodgeball, I was moving out. I was hiding behind someone because I didn't want to get hit with that. But all of them are huge competitors. But besides that they are good sportsmen.
Yeah.
And they're good leaders.
Look
and
at
they
Mom
get
and
it
Dad,
all.
nice
And
people.
CJ and Chrissy
Yeah.
are just, the best. So it was just really fun that, I could connect all our new viewers with something they actually know.
Yeah, it's LCTV is where it's happening.
Absolutely. It makes sense.
We've been trying to talk. Our friends in down in Booth Bay is connecting up with us, but not having any luck. So if you know anybody in Booth Bay, you want to get connected with them, just have them get in touch with me, and we would love to partner with VRTV down there and do some
Great.
good, fun things. But
All right.
it's been a kind of a stonewall so far. But anyway, we are now. We've got to talk a little bit about this, or we'll be out of time, Sally. That suspect that they found him out on a boat in San Diego Harbor.
Crazy.
Somebody tipped him off somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
The Schmidt Preserve, that was...
You weren't over to the groundbreaking in...
You were there,
I
though,
was.
because you told me you were going that day, and I don't see you in the front picture, but there's
I was
pictures
not
inside, and I think I see your red shirt.
Maybe.
No, I didn't.
Maybe. But anyway.
You were telling me you were worried about your shovel going into the dirt, because it was pretty cold
I
that
talked
day.
to Seth about that. He had so much sand in that, salt
helped
in that
you.
pile of sand. That sand won't freeze 25 below. It won't
Perfect.
freeze.
He helped you.
Yeah, Seth had a Mickey'd up pile of sand.
That's
there.
smart.
He really did. And they're going to break ground on that. I think he said on the 14th.
And the other thing I loved about this is there you have Cindy Wade, who's director, and she's Bree's aunt. And it just shows when we have some really amazing people in our community.
She is short of amazing, that's for sure.
Yes.
She's got so much, and great staff, great
Absolutely.
team. We are so blessed in Lincoln County to have Cindy Wade and her team running the hospital, because it could be like Waldo up in Belfast, which is slowly going out of business.
Yep, I
Because
just
they got
saw a
pension.
Massachusetts hospital in Neshoba Valley went out, and the firefighters are struggling because they really depended on it.
Yeah.
Just so many groups.
Yeah, crazy.
Yes.
Crazy. Nancy Diedrich. I do not know Nancy
Me
Diedrich, but I
neither.
had a
It was-
kid way back in the 80s that played for me. His name was Diedrich.
Dennis.
Yeah.
He was a year older than I was, so I'm wondering if
wonder if
they're
there's any
related.
relation.
My guess is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Ryan McPherson's at it. He's going to do
Yep.
some changes down there.
Yep.
Going to put an oyster processing barn. It'll be interesting to see what happens going on there.
Just when you drive down there on River Road, there's always new buildings and different things happening as people are evolving with the industry. So
Yep. And like I say, great story on Bree here.
yes, it's awesome.
She will be a Division I coach somewhere along the line.
100%. I have no
Yeah.
doubt.
Some school will take a chance on her. I mean, look what happened at University of Maine up there when they took on the Vashon girl.
Yep.
I mean, they've just been great. Couple of new county commissioners.
I know that's got to be hard bringing two on at the same time, I would think,
Yeah, well, they've got Bill Blodgett there. He's a pretty
Right.
steady hand.
Oh, absolutely. But when the majority of the people are new, because often in those roles,
Yeah.
you spend a lot of time learning and listening in the beginning, and that,
Sure
that
do.
could be challenging.
Sure do. So that's page 1 of the snooze. And on the inside, we've got St. Celia Chamber Choir.
Yep.
I think that's the one my friend Claire.
That's what we decided last time, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure.
think
And if
that's
not,
one
she
that-
should let us know. 'Cause
Yeah,
we'll-
she should correct us.
Right. We want to be kept on the straight and narrow here.
And kids learn how to play chess. I never learned how to play chess. You know how to
I
play
used
chess?
to know, but I don't know. It's not like one of those things like
It's not
riding
like
a bike.
checkers. It's not like checkers.
No. There's so much strategy.
Yeah, there's
so
way
what
too
a
much
great-
strategy probably in it for me. Yeah. So, you know, and that groundbreaking thing, it was nice to hear from the Waldoboro Selectman, John Blodgett, saying how important it is and how excited they are.
Absolutely.
And to bring that whole facility. And they think that's going to be like less than 18 months before from the time they start to the time they finish.
They had earmark funds that helped support the building of that. So it's been a big thing happening over there.
And
that
kudos to the
Kaiser's-
First National Bank,
Yeah.
$150,000
Yeah, right?
for the first, seed money to get it started.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Computer class at the Waldoboro Public Library. I probably ought to go to that. As soon
Should
as
we
I
send
work
you
at the
down
computer
there?
every day and figure out what I'm doing wrong.
Then you can be computer literate also.
That's right. I won't even be media literate. I'll be computer literate. I may be too literate.
I don't know if that's possible.
Is that
but
you can be overboard on the literate side?
I'm not sure. But see, if you look in one of these pictures, you have a bright red coat on in the back, right? Is that you?
Yep.
There
It
you
is
are.
way in the back corner. It was.
I tried to make the picture bigger, but I
was
couldn't
big,
do that.
yeah.
But there
Couldn't
you
blow
are.
it up.
No,
I'll give you one. Put it on your wall.
thanks so
so.
much.
You need a picture of me. Oh, shoot. Jefferson Fire and Rescue. Gee whiz, look
They
how
had a
busy they
lot.
were. Man, they were out like almost every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice a day.
Yeah, I can't imagine that their team is that large to be managing that.
Yeah, middle school going to compete in the Winter Kids.
That's neat.
That's
It's a
neat
great,
stuff,
great
isn't it?
programs that the Winter Kids put on.
You know, speaking of kids, on our West Coast being devastated by fire, and I know we're talking about Lincoln County here, but boy, out in LA and where those kids lost schools and whys and all kinds
Right,
of stuff.
all the
Where are they going to go?
Yeah,
I mean, what a devastation.
absolute
You know,
devastation.
forget about the loss of, the loss of life is tragic in itself, but all those people lost homes and just, boy,
And I don't think we have any idea what the extent is right now.
not a clue.
which
I mean,
is-
the fires aren't out yet.
right,
You know,
right.
They're
So
still
there's-
battling them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, what else we got here, Sally? See anything good?
Oh, I was looking at those ice sculptures because, we might as well embrace the cold if we're going to be here. And, I know they do at the Samoset Resort, the ice
Yes.
bar will be opening soon.
Yes.
And then
we
the
used to
Winterfest.
go up there. We
It's
haven't been
fun.
up I think we haven't been up since before COVID.
Yeah, we
But-
went last year and it
Did
was
you?
great fun.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Let me know when you're going.
I will.
I'll buy you an adult beverage.
Excellent.
There you go. That's a deal you can't refuse, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Lady Lamb at the Waldo. Yeah. Janet Mills, what's she gonna do? She's gonna figure out how to close a $118 million loophole. Boy, you're pretty talented
That's
if you
a
can do
big
that.
order.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah. Yeah. Benny Pinkham passed. Did you know Ben?
I didn't know him. Tell me
Yeah,
about him.
They were Damerscott Mills family, and
Okay.
Ben moved away right after he came home from the Army. He went up north and became a guide and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And Buddy Lawson, he was a staple of anything sports going in Waldoboro. Buddy was
Yep.
worked for Home Gas for many, many years, and just kind of sad, people passing on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Spencer Albee. He's going to be over the Strand over in Rockland.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who is coming is this Mike Zito.
Yeah.
He is one heck of a guitar player.
That is great.
Yeah, blues man. Jimmy Carpenter's going to come with him, huh? Yeah. Lack of ice threatens the smelt season for the third year in a row.
Hopefully that's changed though. Don't you
This-
think all this cold?
I would think there was 5 or 6 shanties up on the bay the other
Okay.
day, but I don't know, where the smelts have come back.
Right.
I mean, when I was a kid, I'm dating myself, back in the 60s, Christmas vacation, there's a foot of ice on the bay.
Right.
And we went smelting every day. Because if you could catch 15 or 20 pounds of smelts, which was a lot of smelts when you figure 8 or 10, 12 to a pound, take them down to Yellowfront, they give you 20 cents a pound for them. So you can make $3, $4. Well, 1966, that was a lot
was
of money.
good money, right.
It was good money. And some of the guys there was guys that fished professionally. They caught 40, 50, 100 pounds a day.
Wow.
Smelting, that's big time. You talk to Lee Parsons about it. I mean, he lives on
Yep.
the bay.
Yep.
I mean, it's quite a lot of history about it.
That's
Yeah.
really neat because now you just hear about people doing it for recreation
Yeah.
and those things, but that's pretty neat.
And Damerscott, the Great Salt Bay was the premier place to go smelt fishing.
Right.
There was some over on the Eastern River and over the Shaddocks and
You
whatnot.
see in Kennebec right
And the
now. you'll
Kennebec,
see.
yeah. And there was a few on the Marsh River, but the tide ran so hard, so you had to really watch your shanty
Oh,
there.
yep.
But the fishing was the best in Great Salt Bay and the least dangerous.
Right. I always like watching as it starts to melt. Is that person going to get their shanty off in
You know,
time?
when I came in last night from the business after hours, I was thinking, you know, when I was a kid, my father and I would be on the bay on a night like tonight, smelting and coming off the bay 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, whenever the fish stopped biting, blowing a gale, come and think nothing of it. He was like, what was the matter with us?
We don't have enough time. We only have a few minutes left, Larry.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh, that's a
What
great
was the matter
story,
with
though. I
us?
love that.
On the sports page, boy, big week for Dominic, Lincoln Academy.
Yes.
All the teams played well. LA had a heartbreaker at Oceanside.
I was at the
62-60.
girls' game. The boys had the heartbreaker,
They
and I
did.
was watching the girls'
They
game.
did. But what a week. The Madomic, boys and girls, they beat both undefeated teams from Spruce Mountain.
Yeah.
Sent them home, you know, with a loss and lots of heel points. A lot of wrestling going on. The wrestlers didn't do quite so good, but
Not as well as they've been doing.
No.
There's a picture of Jordan Anderson to the far right for track, and
Yes.
last night he just broke a school record in
Oh,
the
no kidding.
55. So
where do they run
talk-
over to Bowdoin?
That's where the meets are at
Yeah.
Bowdoin. Yep.
Yeah,
So we'll be talking about that next week again. But
yeah. Do you know Dylan Burnmeister?
I do not. I've read about her quite a bit, but I
Gee,
don't
she's
know.
fast, first in the mile.
Absolutely.
First in the mile. We got ball games on tonight. If you're watching us, you should be watching the ball games maybe. You can catch us a little bit later. We got Madomic and Lincoln both are at home tonight.
Okay.
Boys and girls action. Yeah. I don't know what else we got here on
Well,
page
there's
2.
one thing I wanted to mention that's in here is tomorrow
Oh,
night.
Sally's got something. He's got a... And now, folks, on my left here is Miss Sally with a news flash.
Yes, tomorrow night at the Y, we have our family fun night. We talked
that's
about
right.
this
I was
last
coming
time.
down to that.
So it starts at 5:30. Dinner, free dinner, served from 5:30 to 6:30, and then during 5:30 to 7:30, we have a lot of fun family games, indoor cornhole, different things. Just a nice thing for families to do, especially with the cold.
I'll have to come down because
Please
I got to
come.
cook for myself because my bride is in
you
Phoenix.
brought- yeah.
So I'm batching it for the
All
next 3
right.
days.
Well, we
free
can
meal.
hook you up.
Somebody else cooking. I don't even care if it's free. If somebody else cooking, put your donation jar out there. I'll put a donation in. Whitefield Library Director, she just resigned. She's got a family member she needs to take care of. Yeah. New Year's check-in, big food bags. Jefferson Village School, they got a recycling program going on up there. Yeah. Veggies to table. I'm not sure what that Hannaford's Fight Hunger Bag program is all about. But
They have a bunch of different, grants
Yeah.
that they give out to support local
Yeah.
communities. So that's one of them.
yeah, the Masons, they donated to Community Energy Fund. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome. A full moon hike at HVNC, so maybe it
Yeah.
will warm up a little bit for that, but if not, bundle up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Sally, we're just about done it. One of the things, folks, I want to talk real quickly about is our buddy Bobby Whear is in the hospital at Mass General, and we are just passing the news on. Bobby's got a blood disease, leukemia, and he's been through chemo, and he's having some blood transfusions, and he's got to have some more medical work done. It's been a long haul for him. We're saddened that he can't be here with us, but he is working hard to get better. I talk with him a couple times a week, and his spirit is still there. He's like, Larry, they're trying to make me eat Wheaties with a banana. I cracked up laughing, but his spirits are great. He's going to be back soon. We don't know when. But as you'll see at the end of the show here, his address to get a card, he did ask that we tell people at home what his fans, I know he's got a big fan club, what his address is, and he would love to hear from you with a card or a note. So please send your condolences to Bobby and your get well cards to him, and we would really appreciate that from LCTV because he is a special guy. LCTV's Wuzzup is one of the longest running shows in Maine. That's what my people at MCMA tell me, that continuously weekly shows. So it was all started by Bobby Whear. I'm the second host that he's been with. Kit Hayden and Bobby started it together, and Kit, of course, passed a number of years ago. And I don't know how many years I've been doing it, and we've got Sally in the loop now.
Wow, I'm honored. First female too.
First
Wow.
female, yeah, on a regular basis. So, folks at home, please send your cards to Bobby. The address is at the bottom of the page there. And Sally, thanks again. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
And if anybody would like to co-host to give Sally a break, She's been very gracious to sit in. Please get hold of me at the station. I would love to have just somebody else that just could take my place and be okay. But if you'd like to host Wuzzup in the near future, we would love to have you. So give us a shout. That's all for this week, Sally. Thanks much. Stay warm.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a great week.
Have a great week, folks. See you next time. Chase Tree and Tractor Service with 25 years of experience in tree removal. Serving the mid-coast of Maine, licensed and insured Maine arborist. Whether it's a pesky blowdown or a hard-to-get tree that needs removal. When you need an experienced professional, Jake Chase is the man for the job. Call 207-242-8961 or email him at chasetreeandtractorservice.jc@gmail.com.